And so we got the engine finished because last episode we dropped in the crank, torque it up and all good. We prepped the ring gaps and check on it with you guys. And of course the pistons arrived. Now it's fully pressed on the rods. We gotta prepare it and install. So now here we installed the pistons on the block and finish up the bottom end. And you can see here, oh yeah, it's literally brand new. It's ready to rumble. Yes sir, yes sir. It looks good. And of course we check how it sits at top dead, if it's zero or not. And of course we check everything and get the finish finished. So this one's for you, yeah. Once we got back the pistons and from the machine shop with the rods already pressed in, of course the rod bearings are installed and it's already just the piston rings left. But let's go to the block first. Let's wipe it off. But let me show you guys how we left it last episode. And you can see here the crank is pretty snug onto the block, sorry. And yes, look, it's all clean and good and ready to assemble. It spins lightly, you see by hand. Yes, this is gonna be running really good. And of course, the oil pump is all cleaned up. We opened the oil pump, blueprinted it, checked the clearances, and it's all good. Now it's all ready to perform with really good oil pressure. Yeah. Now let's turn the block and wipe the bores with WD-40 first, just to make sure there's no assembly lube stuck on the bore itself. And of course, now we lather it with engine oil, just so that the bores are lubricated. All right, let's look at it closer again before we install the pistons. Oh yeah, it is already. Yep. The hone finish is really good. As you can see, we've cleaned it up and you can see it more clearly, right? So now let's go get the pistons. And here we are with the rings installed, well lubricated. Now it's all ready. Yes sir, yes sir. And let's go back to the engine stand. Let's bring piston number 1. Okay, now we time lapse this so so that it doesn't get too boring. Assembly lube on the journals, and then of course we put regular oil like W30 weight on the rod nuts. This way it's lubricated well, so we get the proper torquing later. Right, so number 2, assembly lube again, rod caps, make sure it's well lubed. Yes, it's just a simple sequence, and so I don't see any possibilities of having a shortcut or need to do a shortcut for this, because it's really simple like that. Right, now on to the last one, piston number 4. Yes, and then we go to the rod caps, secure it well. All right, now I go grab the torque wrench and we torque this to 30 feet-pounds torque, because it's stock rod bolts, B16 rod bolts. All right, there you go. Okay, now we turn it. Let me show you. This is gonna be something really cool for find the right beat. Let's look at the bore, and you can see the hone finish is, the oil retention is really good, as you can see there, right? Oh yeah. So now the job of the second ring, or piston ring number 2, is to scrape that oil really well, so it doesn't smoke. Yes, it just has that now on top because it's well lubricated. That is also why the initial startup, there's always like a puff of smoke. It's because of that. Oh yeah, you can see the sound and you can hear the piston ring scrape on the fresh bore. Oh yeah, now let's check this out. Just for fun, we decided to get the deck bridge and check the top dead, or how it sticks out on top dead. And here we are. We zeroed it out from the deck, it's 0. Okay, now we turn it up, get to the top dead. We'll see how much it sticks out, because the actual B16A rod is 134.26 millimeter, not 134. So there's still 0.26 there. So now let's check. Okay, there, and that went back. So now we know the piston sticks out 0.015 above deck. That's not so bad, but that's why it gives us good compression here. You see, it's 0.015, right? And this is awesome because we're actually shooting for 12.4:1 static compression. And this is going to give us that. So that's perfect, right? Oh, yeah. All right, since the pistons are done, we put the strainer and the oil pickup on. Now it's getting ready to be closed up on the oil pan because this bottom end is done. Oh yeah, it looks really clean and good. Just because, I mean, that's because the engine was clean in the first place. Okay, now we do this. We pre-lube the head studs and hand tight it to the block. This way, the block threads are not, dry. Because, we cleaned it over and over, so, there's no lubrication or no oil there. Now, this, to be sure, we put a very, very thin coat of sealant or Honda Bond. Well, we use 3 bond on the on the drains, on the on the block and head gasket, and drop in the head. This way, you'd notice some rebuilds. There at the corners here, there's like slight oil leaks, but for us, we never get that. We even see that some people use copper spray and still get oil leaks there. So this is just to be sure. Okay, now we go. First step is 22 feet-pounds torque. We won't time lapse this because it's gonna be just really quick. So we just continue. Well, we just speed it up a little bit, but not totally time lapse. All right, yes sir, yes sir. Okay, now last step. It's 60 feet-pounds torque. Sorry about that. Now the cleaning is gonna be really loud, but quite addicting. Oh yeah. The next one. Wait. There. Okay, now this one will be time lapse because that's gonna take way, way too long. And here, now we double check it if everything is all torqued up to 60. Just to see if it clicks. We always do that just to be sure. Yes. Just, for the sake of consistency and reliability. All right. Yes, good, good. Okay. Everything is good now. Okay, we drop in the cams. Yes, the ITR cams. We oil it up just to be, sure and safe. We put the cam caps on. All right. Yeah. Okay, now we drop in the cam rail and then we tighten this so it doesn't get too long for you guys. Just hand tight. Just to be able to secure everything good, and then we will torque it later to 7 feet-pounds torque. So that's just hand tight so that we can drop in the belt. Okay, now here we drop in the belt. The cam gear, because this was acquired as a used set, when I checked it, it's advanced 2 on the intake and advanced 2 on the exhaust. So it was probably cammed before, but we're gonna zero it out later or before startup. Oh yeah, brand new water pump, tensioner. It's all really good now. It's all ready and all fresh and as good as new. All this is gonna be a fun car. Now we cover it to protect it from dust, and then later we'll complete all the other accessories for the engine so that we can drop it on or drop it in on the hatchback. Oh yeah, look at that. The silver golden eagle cam gear, it looks really, really good. That's the breather right there, the extra breather. Yes. Okay, now onto the accessories. So as we speak right now, actually it's already nighttime and my colleague has gone home, so I'm doing a little bit of overtime just for you guys to shoot this video. But of course, this is gonna be covered right there. It's covered with a valve cover just so that there's no dust that gets into it because the engine is already oiled up. So yep, that's how it's gonna be for overnight. And of course, we're gonna use this valve cover of mine. As I mentioned before, this is my dyno purpose valve cover. That's why we chopped up the cam gear area. This way, when you get adjusted, it's gonna be easier. And then it's all done, we're gonna return it back to OEM for him. Okay, now it's a new day and my colleague is back, is doing the checkup. He actually removed the belt again just to double check on the cam seal, and is gonna remove the end cap on the cam gear, or sorry, on the cam, because he prefers to put 3 bond on the cam plug just to make sure there's no leaks. So yep, now he's setting the valve lash or the tappets. This way it's all ready for startup, and also so that on startup it it doesn't really, produce unwanted carbon and all that. It's going to be running really good initially. So to actually preserve the condition of the engine. Oh yeah, here the block post mount is already installed, the plastics, everything. The pulley will be installed when it's on the engine or on the car, sorry. Oh yeah. So basically what we did with the B16A is actually rebuild it, like recondition or rebuild it. But here it is. The rebuild list consists of head and block inspection and head and intake manifold porting, which is in episode 2. And CTR pistons, we checked the ring gaps and everything. All machine work done, like decking and honing and everything, and all new bearings and head gasket seals. And of course, the ITR cam upgrade. So, yep, you gotta check all the episode 1 is all about the introduction of this and the reason or how we got about to receive a CTR piston set. It was a unexpected deal and help from our colleagues at Motor Carb Solutions in Melbourne. So that's pretty cool. And so, of course, the episode 2 is really good because it talks about the intake manifold and all the good stuff that we did. So, yep, you gotta check that out. So, you gotta check the whole series, yep. And also, now here, look. Here's the EG6 engine bay. Of course, the engine is out. We got this cleaned up. And of course, look, we got the engine installed. It hasn't started yet because the intake manifold hasn't been arrived, or hasn't arrived because we had it welded. We sent it out for welding on the planet because it's fully ported. So as soon as that arrives, we're going to install it and do all the checks that we can. And of course, this is going to be having a good compression test and then start up. So, hey, if you'd like to see that, of course you gotta subscribe, and of course when it's done, you can click it here.